Hey, what's going on, guys? In this relatively quick video, I'm going to show you how to set up the Sony A6700 for tracking. And this is particularly useful for sports animals when you're trying to track them and stuff like that. And this is going to be like a push button tracking solution. So it's different from touching the screen and tracking a subject like I've showed you in the past. This is basically you just press a button and it automatically starts tracking. And then you pretty much can't miss a shot because once the camera's locked on, it has pretty much 100% hit rate based on my testing outside. Now, when there's multiple athletes running around, it's probably not going to be 100%, but it's going to be really good. So I just got to thank my buddy Patrick Murphy Racy. Be sure to check out his YouTube channel. I'll have it linked below. He's a good friend of mine, and he's the one that taught me this method. Patrick is a professional sports shooter, and he's got like 30 plus years experience. And again, when he showed me this method, I was honestly blown away. I know people say that all the time, game changer, blah, blah, blah. But this is one of those situations where I was honestly blown away. And this works for both photo and video on the newer cameras that have the AI chip. All right, guys, so let's set up the A6700 here, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. All right, guys, so this is what it's going to look like, and let's go over these settings. So first, if I go into the menu, we're going to have to go to Custom Configure. So I'm just going to go down here to the Operation Customize right here, and then we're going to go to Custom Key/Dial Set for photos, and then we're going to go to video after that. So for photos, what we're going to do is we're going to actually change this option right here, number 2. So that's going to be the button on the back of the camera that says AF on. That's what it is by default, but you can change it. If you go in here, you can change it to tracking on plus AF on. So that's what we're going to set that to. All right, guys, so I just want to take a moment here to thank the sponsor of this video, which is you. That's right. You guys are the sponsor of this video. You guys are the ones watching. You guys are the ones asking questions and leaving comments down in the comments section, which not only help me, it helps other people trying to learn the camera. So that's just fantastic that you guys do that. Also, you guys are the ones that go into the description area and click those affiliate links, which greatly helps me out. So thank you very much for doing that. I really appreciate it. And thank you very much for sponsoring this video. If we just go back to menu and we go down to video, we're going to do pretty much the same thing. So for number 2, though, I'm going to do tracking on toggle. It's a little bit different when it comes to video, guys. So it's tracking on toggle for video, and it's AF plus tracking on with photos. So that's how I'm going to have it set. So now if we go back, you can see here how I have my screen set up. Let me just show you how I have that set up. If I go into the function menu here, so notice how I have it on AFC mode, focus area. So right here is where I'm going to have it, tracking spot medium. So that is the option that I'm going to want. So this is the focus mode that I'm going to use. And I also have the camera set to mechanical shutter. Let me just show you where that is in the menu. So these are the settings that I like to use for sports. So if we go in here to shutter/silent, this is where you can set the camera for mechanical shutter, which is how I like to have it set. Now, in addition to that, guys, I like to use aperture priority mode. So let me just show you how I have that set as well really quick in case you want to use this method. So what I do is I go to ISO auto minimum shutter speed, and I have that set to 1/2000th of a second. You might need that at 1/4000th of a second. That's what I was using with the galloping horses at that polo event, which I'll show you in a minute. But for Jace riding his bike, he was only riding at about 10 miles an hour, not too fast. So 1/2000th is fast enough. So that's where I have the auto minimum shutter speed set. So this is what it looks like on the back of the Sony A6700 when I was doing this sports action photo series with Jace riding his bike towards me with the 200-600, which is a pretty hard test. So you can see when I press the AF on button, you can see how that tracking box comes up and then it switches right to his face because it sees it as a human. So once Jace starts riding, I'm just going to hold the shutter button down, and you could see how it'll switch, and now it's tracking, and now I'm going to start taking photos. Bang, 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 and you can see here it goes. So now this turned out to be 124 shots in a row, 100% hit rate. So that's right, every single shot was sharp. I'm going to show you in Lightroom real quick so you can see for yourself. But before we do that, I just want to show you video. So now I'm recording in video, and as soon as Jace goes in front of my focus area, I'm hitting the toggle on AF button that I just showed you how to custom program. and look how it's tracking them. Now it looks different than photo mode. It's a little bit different. The face isn't coming up right away, and it looks white instead of green, but it'll switch to the face once it gets a little bit closer. So it's tracking the body now. Here it goes to the face. So now it's tracking the face during video using the AF tracking toggle on. And it works incredibly well, as you just saw. Now, here is the footage of Jace just off the A6700. This is the actual 4K video, as opposed to looking at it through the Ninja recording. So again, this is the actual, 4K video footage. And you can see it looks really good. And it's just tracking him as he gets closer. You can see the background will get blurrier and blurrier. So now if we go into Lightroom, I just want to show you, here is all of the photos in a row. So if we look at it like this, you can see it's 124 frames in a row. So if we click on one and we just go through them, I checked every one of these shots, guys, and every single one is sharp. Not one missed autofocus frame out of every one of these things, which is incredible. You can see here, if I zoom in, you can see it's sharp. It's a little bit dark, but it's sharp. So here at the Polo event, I'm not going to go through every single frame. I just wanted to show you a couple of these. I was using the exact same method, and you could see here, just the tracking is unbelievable. If I zoom in, you can just see the detail, sharpness, clarity. It nails it. It just finds, all I had to do was basically hit the body of the horse anywhere, and then the autofocus saw the human, because I was in human detect mode, and it just went right to the eye of the rider. Again, amazing how good this works. And you can see here, as I let it load, this is the my keeper shot out of all of them. I just love the way the ball is captured in play there. So just a couple of more, and most of these shots were sharp. I did not get 100% hit rate in this environment. I was using my A7C2, and it was because the athletes and stuff were crossing one another, so every once in a while it would lose tracking, but overall, the hit rate was really good. I would say, I don't know, maybe 85%. But again, I don't really know what I'm doing when I'm tracking horses. It was hard to predict where they went and stuff. So I would chalk most of that up to user error, to be honest. But the camera performed incredible. Again, A7C2 with the same lens. So here's Buddy, my new puppy. He's a golden retriever, and I was using my Sony A7C2 and my 55mm f1.8 Zeiss lens. Now, slower autofocus lens, so the hit rate is not going to be as good as a modern lens with the dual, focus motors and stuff like that. The older Zeiss lens is much slower, so it's not a good sports lens, all right? But that being said, check this out. Sharp, 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 sharp. And I was basically just holding the camera in vertical, walking in front of the dog, like aiming back like this, basically holding as I was walking, and it did an exceptionally good job. So if I just zoom in here, I can show you a couple of the keepers that I got. So here's one I really liked, of the dog coming towards me. Now this was not 100% hit rate, but it was a good, probably 75-80% hit rate, I would say. And here's just a bunch of shots. I like it when the dog is just posing as well, because once it's tracked and locked, you could then recompose the frame however you want, and the tracking box just stays on the dog's eye. It's incredible. I had an animal detect for this as well, of course, as opposed to human. But again, even with this slower lens, the tracking worked exceptionally well. And you can see just, this is at like minimum focus distance, and you can see it's just razor blade sharp, which is very difficult for a camera to do, All right, guys, that about wraps it up for this Sony A6700 autofocus tracking via the AF on button on the back of the camera. How awesome this works. You definitely have to try it. Please set your camera up like this and try it out. Let me know in the comments below. If I messed anything up, guys, I apologize. Let me know in the comments below and we'll address it. I don't think I did. I went over this pretty thoroughly. But, you might have weird settings or something that is different than what my camera had. So just let me know, and I'll try to help you below. If you guys want to learn more about the Sony A6700, be sure to check this video out here. Links below in the description. Be sure to check out Patrick Murphy Racy's channel as well. All right, guys, I'll catch up with you next time. Take care.